Let's bring in UNRWA spokeswoman Tamara Alrifai, who joins us now live from Amman in Jordan. Good to have you with us. So, does this decision by the Israeli parliament mean that effectively UNRWA can no longer work in Gaza and the occupied West Bank if Israel is refusing to coordinate with it?
Good morning and great to be back with you. Yes, if these laws are implemented, the Knesset bills, then they're likely to prevent UNRWA from working in the entirety of the occupied Palestinian territory in the West Bank, including East Jerusalem, and in Gaza. What effectively this means is that most likely international staff will no longer have visas to go into Israel or the OPT. No work permits will be given to our Palestinian colleagues. No possibility to pass through Israeli checkpoints, meaning our trucks, our convoys, our humanitarian supplies will not be able to cross into the OPT, including Gaza, during this huge humanitarian catastrophe. No coordination on the safety of trucks, convoys, and their operations will be possible with the Israeli government. And mostly UNRWA premises, including or maybe mostly in East Jerusalem, will be taken over. So effectively, if these bills are implemented over the coming few weeks or few months, the risk is that our entire operations, services to Palestine refugees in the entirety of the occupied Palestinian territory will collapse.
Where would that leave Palestinians living under occupation and displacement?
The immediate impact is to plunge Palestine refugees inside the occupied Palestinian territory into deeper distress and dispossessions. In Gaza, UNRWA, the UN agency that is the largest right now, is the backbone of the humanitarian operation, distributing food, managing shelters for the displaced, and recently, in coordination with UNICEF and the World Health Organization, providing polio vaccination after polio re-emerged in Gaza. In the West Bank, including East Jerusalem, that we have schools, we have 45,000 children learning in UNRWA schools. We have health centers that give Palestine refugees full primary health care. These people will no longer have access to these services. That is an additional dispossession. And while I'm here, I was carefully listening to earlier guests, and it's true that besides the services that UNRWA provides, schooling or health services, protection, UNRWA represents the repository, the collective memory of Palestinian refuge status. So Palestinian refugees find in UNRWA the place, the entity, the UN agency approved by the General Assembly of the international community that represents their 75 years of displacement and dispossession. And that is at the crux of UNRWA's identity. Even if our services collapse, UNRWA will always be the representative of 75 years of refugee status.
Do you believe that Israel is trying to delete the right of return for Palestinian refugees, ultimately? This is what it's about.
The government of Israel has engaged in a very aggressive campaign to discredit UNRWA and delegitimize what we represent, Palestine refugees. So the vote yesterday at the Knesset is the latest, but also unprecedented act against UNRWA by the government of Israel and by any other government.
I understand, but do you see this as an attack on the Palestinians' right of return, that this is ultimately what it really is?
We see this as an attack on the status of Palestine refugees, seeking to erase that status altogether.
Chris Gunness, the former spokesperson, said he sees it as part of Israel's ethnic cleansing of Palestine. Is he right?
I don't know about Chris Gunness, but what I know is attacks against UNRWA are attacks against the international system, and that the heartening outpour of support we've received in the last few days by world leaders close and far, including allies of Israel, speak to the centrality of UNRWA as an actor that defends the rights of Palestine refugees. And that is the actor of choice of the international community for the defense and the promotion of rights of these Palestine refugees.
Thank you so much for coming and sharing your thoughts on this. Tamara Alrifai, the UNRWA spokeswoman.